welcome back. Aloha. Thank you everyone once again for joining in. Happy Friday. We've done it once again. Another week just flies by when you're learning, when you're growing, when you're having fun. So let's take a moment here to really just be able to acknowledge the fact that we have learned something this week. We have grown this week. We have been able to bring in more of the lessons of the universe into our heart this week. And so as we just kind of create these first few moments to be able to allow people to get situated, begin shaking your hands, begin wagging your tail, begin just welcoming other people to the chat. If you're just like even just dropping in live on the Instagram, just say hello to each other. It's a Friday. This is a community. Think of this as like kind of walking into that digital dojo and you're just like, hey, good morning, everyone. Hugs, good morning, hugs, good morning, hugs, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Even if you're, maybe you've like mastered the ability to be able to like watch YouTube videos in your dreams. If that's the case, then welcome wherever you're tuning in from. For those of you who may be entirely new to this, my name is Wolf, aka Skull Babylon, aka Mystic Spider-Man. Maybe somebody invited you to tune into this. If so, thank you to both of you, however you ended up here. For those of you who are a little bit unfamiliar, what we do here is we be able to create the container to be able to help cultivate momentum, inspiration, routine, practice, meditation, body movement, being able to connect as community, being able to activate our archetype as shifters, as light guardians. And this is a part of the global project at ParadigmShiftCentral.com, a real-world interactive game to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. And again, part of the way how we do that is that we encourage and inspire each other. We help create leaders. We help create shifters, light guardians. We encourage people to be able to help bring their gifts into this world as artists, as entrepreneurs, as community facilitators. We encourage people to create real world action where they are. Just begin massaging your body if you haven't yet, such as things such as like free hugs, acts of kindness, and even the creation of physical paradigm shift community meetups, which are all about having open-minded discussion and meditation circles or other cool things. For those of you in London, Ontario, Canada, May 10th, come out to Paradigm Shift London Energy Exchange, 7 to 9 p.m. Send me a DM or go to Paradigm Shift London on Instagram. That's going to be like meditation, discussion, music, and dance, and it's going to be an awesome place to be able to recharge your batteries, much as to what we are doing here, right here in this broadcast. This is a chance for us to just be able to like plug ourselves in to the collective inspiration that we're creating here together. So thank you for joining, for being here in this space. Reminder for those of you who are watching this on Facebook in the future, please jump over to the YouTube if you're watching this and the feed happens to crash. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, please feel free to share this broadcast. And yeah, just get nice and comfortable. Allow yourself to begin moving. Allow yourself to begin listening to your body. And as we do this, just inviting ourselves to connect to the breath. And let us take a moment here before we start standing up and dancing. That's one of the things we're going to do. And then we're going to sit back down and do our chakra practice meditation. So again, just listening to your body. What does your body feel like? And as you do this, as you're breathing with your breath, let's begin reflecting on what the experience of this week was like for us. What were our biggest wins? What were some of our challenges? What are we taking with us into next week? So I want you to allow yourself to just kind of like reflect on that. So as you're breathing here, and again, I'm just kind of like massaging parts of my body. I can feel like my shoulder and my neck are still tender. For those of you who tuned in even on Monday, you know I was like talking about it then. It's a lot better, but it's still a little bit tender. And so even for myself, just kind of reflecting, what were some of my challenges? My challenges were like being able to slow down, and yet the gift in that was being able to practice like really being grateful for my ability to have a body in the first place, for my ability to even have movement in the first place. Mobility is one of those things that we often take it for granted. And it's not until we lose our mobility that we're just like, wow, you know, like I can't believe like I was walking and dancing for so long and I never really fully appreciated it, if you know what I mean, right? So in this moment, as you're just kind of like reflecting on what the week was for you, reflect on the fact that you've been given the gift of mobility in whatever form that may be. And again, understand that there are going to be people watching this who are going to have different forms of mobility. So just honoring the fact that you have the ability, if you're capable of standing, if you're capable of walking, if you're capable of like moving your arms in all directions, really invite you to just be like, oh man, like I'm so grateful for that. So again, as we just kind of like massage our body wherever we need to, just begin like stretching the hands, reaching up for the sky, left and right, reach as if there is no limit. Let's just bring ourselves into a bit of stillness. Once you're done, just moving your body in a subtle way. And again, let's just connect with our breath and let's just drop into this space where I want you to be able to reflect on how this week was for you. Literally, even just like taking a moment here to practice our retrospective meditation. I want you to literally practice like time traveling within your mind. This is actually like a meditative practice. And bring yourself back to Monday. And so I want you to bring yourself back to Monday. And I want you to just like remember in as much detail as possible all of the things that you did Monday. So connect with your breath here, gentle inhale. Nice big exhale through the mouth or the nose. Gentle inhale, drop into this space. And as you shift yourself into this meditative space, you will find that you are actually tapping into your ability to experience a form of time travel, where you are literally able to go back to the events of the past, but to almost see them from a different perspective, to see them from outside of your immediate self in that moment. And now you are viewing it almost as a third person. So think about Monday. Try and remember in as much detail as possible, while at the same time reflecting on what some of our wins were, what some of our challenges were, what we're bringing with us momentum-wise into the next week. So think about Monday. How did you wake up? Did you tune into this broadcast? Do you remember what you ate Monday? Do you remember what you did? Do you remember what you worked on? Did you go to something in the afternoon? Did you spend time with someone in the evening? Did you exercise? Did you go for a walk? Take one more breath here. Practicing bringing in as much memory as possible. Extracting any lessons that we had from the week. Moving into Tuesday. Do you remember your Tuesday? How did you wake up? What did you feel like that day? Do you remember what you worked on? And you may find here that perhaps your memory is a little bit foggy, a little bit fuzzy. Maybe it's kind of hard to be like, did I do that this day or that day? What did I do? I know I did something, but what did I do? And you'll notice sometimes it's almost like as if you're remembering a dream. And yet this is something where when we practice retrospective recall, this is a very, very important practice that can also help with our dream recall as well. So just in a place of simply observing your ability to do so without judgment, again, just take note. What did you do Tuesday? To the best of your ability, remember. Do you remember the feeling of it? Do you remember us waking up in the morning and dancing with our pine cones? For those of you who tuned in for that. Take one more breath here. Bring our awareness to Wednesday. And as you bring your awareness to each day, again, just kind of extracting any wins, any challenges, and just having gratitude for that day, whatever it brought you. Do you remember what you were focusing on? Do you remember what you poured your heart into? Do you remember who you spent time with? Can you observe that moment using the power of your third eye? Take another deep inhale together. Big exhale. Moving on to Thursday. Do you remember literally what happened yesterday? Do you remember what you felt like when you woke up? Do you remember what you did? Do you remember what tasks you had to accomplish? Do you remember how you felt? Do you remember talking to a stranger? Do you remember telling someone that you cared about them? Do you remember putting your love into something, creating something? Do you remember talking to someone online? Do you remember reading a book? Do you remember how you went to bed? Did you tune in for the broadcasts, for the team roundtable last night, the live broadcast we did? Did you exercise? Do you remember what you ate? Did you watch a sunset? Whatever you did, allow yourself to look back and have gratitude for those moments. For you to be able to experience the now of those moments. And for you to be able to access them through the power of your memory. Take a deep breath here. Big exhale. Gently bring your hands to your heart. And let's take another moment here to just kind of reflect. How was this week for us? Was our momentum to the best? Was it the best momentous week ever? Was it a little kind of so-so? Was there room for improvement? Were there habits we could adjust? Can you observe things as data and be like, well, you know, I did this, and then that kind of, maybe I didn't get this thing done all the way, but I know why, and I know why my energy felt that way. Can you think about ways of how you want to be able to lay out the blueprint for next week? Do you want next week to be the same as it was this week, or do you want it to be different? Do you want it to be more proficient? Do you want to be able to get more done? Do you want to be able to experience something else? Whatever you experience this week, look back with gratitude. Give yourself the win. Acknowledge the win that you had simply by being there, simply by showing up. Know that you did grow this week. In the same way, acknowledge any challenges, and acknowledge the challenges as wins too. Because the fact is that with the mindset, you can shift your relationship with challenges to understand that all challenges are actually there to help you grow. So look back on the challenges from this week. Maybe there weren't even many challenges. Maybe things were nice and flowing for you. And if so, acknowledge why it was. What were you doing that were helping things really flow? Keep doing more of that. What were you noticing that was perhaps getting in the way of flow? Be aware of that. Make adjustments where you can. Without having to avoid the challenges, but rather shift our relationship with them. It is not the challenges that create the problems, so to speak. It is our relationship with them. It is how we show up to meet them. Do we resist? Or are we open to being able to learn from them? Oftentimes, if we are open to being able to learn from them, we will find a way to be able to move through them with more grace. So take a couple more deep breaths here. What are you bringing with you into next week? Start creating the blueprint that you want for next week while acknowledging and celebrating this week. And in this space, before we move into our next part of our meditation, I want you to create a container where you can create some sort of little promise for yourself. Some sort of little promise. Nothing too huge, but some sort of little promise. I want you to devote yourself to that. And it could be general, it could be specific, could be something where it's like, I'm going to show up with as much momentum as possible next week. Or I'm going to practice reading a book before going to bed each night next week. Or I am going to exercise 3 or 4 times a day next week. Not 3 or 4 times a day, 3 or 4 times throughout the week next week. I'm going to make sure I get more walks in. I'm going to spend more time with my family, with my loved ones, with my pets. I'm going to practice creating something, practice creating my expression. I'm going to reach out to someone and tell them that I care about them. Whatever it is, give yourself a little promise for next week. Plant that seed now. Breathe into it. Devote yourself. Can you give yourself the power of devotion? Can you give yourself that container? The universe will honor it. It will respect it. Take 2 more breaths here. Deep, gentle inhale. Big exhale. Deep inhale again. Big exhale. Gently release your hands from your chest. Give your hands a little shake. Open your eyes when you're ready. Invite yourself into a feeling of just feeling again, just like gratitude and awesomeness. Congratulations. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for like kicking ass this week. Seriously. Whatever this week looked like for you, thank you for showing up. Because whatever it was for you was exactly what was meant for you. And thank you for being able to receive that, for receiving that with an open heart, for receiving that with the mindset of growth, for receiving that in the place where you're constantly being able to take lessons and bring it into the ongoing expansion that you are moving through. Thank you for being courageous. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being expressive. Thank you for being able to bring all of that you naturally are, your authentic self. That is all you need to do. All you need to do is just continue to be your authentic self and to really figure out what that is, who your authentic self is, you know? And is your authentic self something that you can learn more about? Can you learn more about who your authentic self is by perhaps peeling back more of those layers, peeling back more of those illusions, those old stories? Your authentic self is someone who is a very joyful by nature, a very enlightened being by nature. So allow yourself to give yourself that gift of really being who you are as a human, as a soul, as an individual, as an authentic person, as a shifter, as a friend, as a lover, all of those things, as an artist, a heartist. So beautiful. All right, let's start shaking our hands. And if you guys are ready to stand up, let's stand up. Let's get a little movement into our body. And again, I really encourage you, considering it's a Friday, I want you to like really get into this mode of like giving yourself some sort of gift today. Maybe you're gonna like go out dancing. Maybe you're gonna go see Avengers Endgame at 2 p.m. That's what I'm doing. So give yourself some sort of gift and just begin moving your body and shaking your limbs and feeling like the sway, feeling the little bit of weight of gravity moving you. If you're outside, like honestly, if you can watch these broadcasts while outside, like that's totally recommended. Get some sun on your skin, go for a walk in nature, go hang out with someone, go send a message to someone, let them know that you want to make plans with them. Give yourself that gift and just breathe into this and just connect with your breath here. Big inhales, big exhales. And let's start moving here. I'm actually gonna play with my light guardian crystals while I'm dancing here. But we're gonna move into a little bit of a dance. And so if you have light guardian crystals, like this is like one of the ways that you can like dance with them, and they're kind of like flow toys. But I want you right now to just begin kind of moving into this flowing dance, and we'll actually move into the elemental dance. For those of you who are tuned in the last week, you're going to become more familiar with this, and the reason why we repeat it is because we want to be able to like bring more of that familiarity into this and kind of like tap back in to that like tribal flow. So bring a little bit of bend into your knees. I want you to imagine right now that it's like a Friday night and you're hanging around the fireplace, like the tribal fireplace, and you're just like letting out this like tribal instinct, this like tribal warrior, this tribal heart. So just like feel it into your lungs right now. Just move a little bit of your body in a way that's comfortable for you. You're familiar with what your body needs. Give yourself a little bit of that movement. You can like reach for the sky, stretch your body, feel your limbs, wag your tail. Give the gift, accept the gift, receive the gift of the fact that you are alive right now. And so again, just kind of like moving your body. And you can just do like a little bit of freestyle, and then we'll go into our elemental flow. So I mean, again, for me, like when I'm like playing with the light guardian crystals, like these things are really cool because they become like an extension of like the natural energies that are in my hand. So these are like natural flow toys. So bring yourself into a little bit of flow right now, something that is just natural to you. Allow your body to just like pop and lock. Allow yourself to do like any kind of like movements with your hands, practicing your symmetries. Bring in some qigong breath. Bring in that fire breath. Bring in those steps into your feet, and let's start moving into the elemental dance. So for the elemental dance, for those of you who are familiar, what we do is we practice dancing like the elements. So to begin with, we'll start off with water. How does water move? With flow. So I want you to imagine that you have like a ball of water in your hand, and just like feel that flow. You can kind of like imagine that you're like a water bender from Avatar, and find that flow. So again, this is a very intuitive practice, where the trick here is to just constantly remain in motion. So instead of being like, I mean, that's a dance too. You can do that too. That's kind of fun. It looks ridiculous. But find like a natural flow and feel the energy in your hand, and just like feel yourself as water. Activate this water element within you. And you can kind of like move your feet with it. Allow yourself to just be in this space of grace. You can get nice and low, nice and high. Feel yourself just like bringing in waves of energy, waves of water. Again, just imagining yourself, you're like around the fireplace right now. You're around this tribal ceremony. You can dance, you can spin in circles. You can just like bring this energy into you. And then we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna switch it up into fire in about 10 seconds. So finish off with water. Allow yourself to be amazed by the movements of your hand. Allow yourself to just be like, whoa, like I'm dancing? Is this a dance? Does this count? Absolutely, it counts. So thank you for dancing. Let's move it into fire. What does fire look like? I'm gonna put these off to the side. Fire. You can bring a little bit of a sharpness into your hands. With fire, kind of like think, how does fire move? Fire is like very sharp, so a little bit different from water. Sharp movement, so kind of like almost like very like martial arts, where you're kind of like getting in these like quick jabs. Again, I want you to like create your own expression of fire, so like play with your fingers. Bring in the sound effects. Honestly, the sound effects are invited. Acknowledge the fire igniting inside of you. You're going to start feeling yourself sweat soon, especially if you're bringing in the bend to the knees. The bend to the knees, that extra squat, definitely works the muscles. So again, finding a way that's comfortable for you. Even if you're like in a place where you're like, I don't really want to move my legs a lot, you can sit. You can still sit and do this as well. So we'll do fire for just about like 15 more seconds. Find that edge, bring yourself into that place where it's like dynamic movement. Again, kind of like bringing that like Shaolin monk style into it. Again, it can kind of be like very sporadic, but that's okay. Just keep moving. Allow your soul to dance. Allow the flames of your soul to be able to dance. Find a rhythm that works for you. If you want to slow it down a bit, slow it down a bit. Moving next into earth. So earth, let's kind of just like bring this energy where earth is like very much kind of like hands facing towards the ground. And it's just like you're kind of like dribbling a basketball. And you kind of like bring in this movement into your shoulders. You can almost kind of like imagine you're just kind of like a big gorilla where you're just like, whoa, 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 and bring that movement into that. Feel that within your body. So you're just like, feel this strength, feel this connection to the earth. As you do this, you're like worshiping the earth. And as you do this, you're celebrating the fact that you are the earth, that you are the elements. So bring this into your form. Find that rhythm. Find like any sort of movements that kind of resonate with you. Again, you can kind of like take it slow. Find the symmetry. Bring it down hard. Again, for those of you just joining, we're in the process of dancing, celebrating body movement meditation. Bring awareness into your body. What is your body feeling right now? Remember to breathe. Deep inhale. Whatever you're doing right now, do it with mindfulness. Inhale. Exhale. Moving into the dance of the air element. How does air dance? Similar to water, but even more air-like, even more kind of like flowing and nebulous. So even if you want, you can imagine yourself like even just bringing a little bit of movement into your legs, feeling a lightness, stretching up, feeling this like feel as if gravity is loosening itself on you. You become like this like etheric being, finding a way to be able to move like air. Maybe you're moving a little bit slower, maybe you're moving a little bit faster. Again, air can have many movements. We'll just do this for about like 10, 15 more seconds. Keep finding it, keep bringing it. Find that rhythm. When you're ready, gently bring yourself into a place of stillness, bringing your hands to your heart. Big exhale as you do so. Allow yourself to put your hands on your heart. Straighten your legs, space them shoulder width apart or even a little bit wider. Feel your body right now. Are you sweating right now? I am. I can feel like the water running down my face. Listen to your heart right now. Acknowledge the fact that you are the elements. Big inhale, exhales. Just again, be in this space where you just love yourself. Have gratitude for your body, for your mobility, for your breath, for the water within your body, for the fire within your blood, for the earth within your bones, for the air within your lungs. You are the elements embodied in human form. Literally, they have gone through the evolution process to come together to be able to experience this life as you. You are the water as human. You are the fire as human. You are the earth as human. You are the air as human. You are the ether as human. You are the human. The hues of mana. The hues of many color. That is what the word human means. It means the hues of mana. The hues of magic. We are all human. All beings are human. Not just people. We are all human. See the human within all beings. See the hues within yourself. Couple more breaths here. Deep, gentle inhale. Big exhale with gratitude. One more. Deep inhale. Big exhale. When you're ready, gently bring yourself down to seated again. Whew. Wipe off any sweat that you might be experiencing. You don't have to. You can totally just keep the sweat on you. In fact, I kind of encourage it so you can feel it that way. Awesome. How did that feel for everyone? If you guys want to just like, if you want to comment, I'm not asking you to, but you're welcome to. For those of you joining in, I'm just responding to a comment. For those of you who are just like asking where the Light Guardian crystals come from, again, check out questitemshop.com. These are custom items that I make. and they are available there. If you sign up for the team Patreon, which is the monthly donation, you get 25% discount code off of this and other items, including the shift button. Thank you again to everybody who's supporting this simply by watching. Be sure to check out the Patreon when you can. Add a monthly donation or add just a single donation. Again, think of these broadcasts as a form of energy exchange. So you can think of this as like a pay what you wish community donation. So by you making a single donation, it helps allow us to continue to make this available to everyone, as many people as possible. So thank you again to everyone. And yeah, just send me a DM on Instagram if you have any questions about that. Links are in the YouTube info below. We're working our way up to 200 active supporters on Patreon, and we are currently at about 115. So thank you again. All right, how is that feeling? The blood is pumping. The mind is blown. The hues are mana-ing. Yes, that was fun. Awesome. Beautiful. All right, we'll grab any water if you need it. And we'll move ourselves into our chakra practice meditation. So allow yourself to come into this place of stillness. Just kind of shift it up right here, right now. Deep, gentle inhales, big exhales. We'll move into our chakra practice meditation. We won't spend too much time on it. We're making good kind of flow spirit, flow progress. So I'm like reading things and talking things. Do you guys ever do that where you're like reading something and you say something that you're reading? Awesome. Thank you, Free Spirit. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Peace Monkey. Thank you, Water Vixen, for not just being here, but for supporting each other too. I really appreciate that. I think it's a very powerful thing when it's not just like me and you talking, you being the watcher. It's you and us and everyone who are here together. So again, hold space for community. Each of us are equals here. Each of us are leaders. You are leading yourself. So thank you for showing up. And I really do encourage you, like on those days where you're just like, ooh, man, like today's like a hard day. Today I had trouble getting up. Those are the days where bringing some sort of meditation or movement are going to be the ones that will benefit you the most, you know? Like like, believe me, there are days where I'm just like, okay, I got to do this broadcast, but part of me wants to just like sleep in or something like that or whatever. But then when I do it, I'm just like, okay, like now I feel like activated and energized. So happy to be able to hold this space for us. And again, the intention here is we carry this vibration with us. We fill our cups with peace. We fill our cups with compassion and gratitude. And it carries on into our day, carries into our dreams, carries into our art, carries into our love. So thank you, friends, for being here as well. Let's move into our chakra practice meditation. Again, the chakra practice meditation, from brow to root. This is based on the Gnostic teachings. If you want the 2-hour video, it's either on my YouTube channel. You can go to paradigmsessential.com or send me a DM on Instagram. The Gnostic teachings are like very, very ancient. It's all about being able to find the common threads between many different cultures. Each chakra has a correlating mantra. The mantra is the sound vibration that resonates with the frequency of the chakra. When we do the mantra, it's like spinning the disc of the chakra. It's like working it out like a muscle. And when you do that, it also tunes it like an instrument. We do this and we align ourselves with the virtue. We allow ourselves to tap into the natural faculties associated with each chakra. It allows us to be able to tune into our superhuman abilities, our natural human abilities, to be able to receive information from beyond the present moment. So we are naturally like metaphysical beings. We are naturally like time traveling beings, and we receive data from the future through our heart as well. Awesome. So, starting off with the brow chakra, we're going to move into the brow chakra with the vowel I, pronounced as in ski. The sound is E. We'll do it 3 times together while focusing on the virtue of serenity. So, in this moment, imagine you're just in this place of peace and you're filling your cup with love and gratitude and compassion. Gently close your eyes. Deep, gentle inhale, exhale on your own. Relax your face. Big exhale through the mouth. Exhale on your own. Deep inhale together. The sound E. Serenity. Inhale again. Serenity. Once more, deep inhale. Beautiful. Moving into the throat chakra. And again, for those of you who have been doing this, and for those of you who are new to doing this, if you continue this practice, you will notice things increasing in your life, such as synchronicity, such as inspiration, such as more gratitude, such as more flow, such as more momentum, such as more consistency. That is a big reason why we practice this as well. So it's kind of cool when you think about that. Like you're literally like changing the structure of your metaphysical relationship with this reality by working on your chakras. And it's a very, very valuable thing. So thank you for showing up, not just for you, but for others as well. Moving into the throat chakra, the vowel is E. The sound is A, as in way. So A. Again, for those of you who enjoy dad jokes, this is often known as a Canadian chakra. And it's because it sounds like A. And apparently we in Canada have accents and we say A sometimes. Well, no, it's true. We do say A. I don't Do I have an accent? You guys tell me. Some people are like, wow, Brendan, you have such an accent. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Anyways, okay, moving into the throat chakra. The virtue is here is a virtue of justness. Being able to speak with intention. Using words to create worlds. This is very, very important. I want you to be aware. I want you to be aware of how when you can kind of like really get into that place of like saying what needs to be said, that can become very powerful. And at the same time, sometimes it's saying, it's not even just saying what needs to be said. Sometimes it's like knowing when to say it is another thing. Because you're just like, ooh, this is important, you know, like I think I need to say this, but do I need to say it right now? You know, like I'll give you an example. For those of you who watch Game of Thrones, I'm going to spoil it for you. I'm going to spoil episode 2. But there's a part in episode 2. This isn't really a spoiler. Anyways, Jon Snow tells Daenerys Targaryen, that he's like actually the rightful heir to the throne right before they're about to get into the huge battle with the Night Walkers. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, the justness in him doing that could have waited. He could have waited until after the battle to say that, but him saying that suddenly puts Daenerys into this place of just kind of like, totally distracted now. So it's like, if you're going to say something, be aware of how it's going to affect the other person. And think, do I need to say this? And do I need to say this now? Can it wait? That is actually a way to be able to practice your justness. I apologize if I just spoiled it for you. You guys already knew that Jon Snow was the rightful heir to the throne, right? You guys knew that? Unless you're on episode, like, season 2 or something. Anyways, moving into our throat chakra, opposed to just talking about Game of Thrones all day. But speaking on the virtue of justness. Knowing when to talk and knowing when to talk well and knowing when to be able to say what you need to say. So allow yourself to slow down. Allow yourself to slow down. If you find yourself where you're like, I'm gonna send this message, and maybe it might make things, you know, is it gonna do more harm than good? Then if so, slow down and think about what you're about to say. Voice, message, text. We have a habit of being like very impulsive, where we're just like, I'm gonna say right what's on my mind. But slow down. Think about that. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Close your eyes. Relax your breath, straighten your spine. The virtue for the throat chakra is the virtue of justness. The vowel is E, the sound as in way. So the sound is A, which is the traditional Canadian mating call in the wild. So stupid. Okay. Deep, gentle inhale, exhale through your mouth. Big exhale. Deep inhale together. Sound A. A. Again, inhale. Once more. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, moving into the heart chakra. Again, just really honoring you for showing up. You can kind of think about doing this in the same way of like scrubbing your body with soap. It's like a tune-up for your car, you know? So you got to do it. Otherwise, your car is going to like break down in the middle of the road one day. So this is self-love through ancient metaphysical science. Very powerful stuff. Heart chakra, the vowel is O, the sound as in snow. So the sound is O, like that. The virtue is, of course, love, compassion, service. And the faculty is also that of inspiration, being able to tap into our intuition. Do what makes your heart sing. Follow your heart. Well, understanding, there's a caveat here, that your heart will lead you to where you need to go. It won't always lead you to happiness, but it will lead you to the important lessons. So next time when someone's just like, follow your heart, don't do it with this naive idea that it's like, everything's going to be okay. Like if you find someone who you deeply care about and you love them, that doesn't mean that everything's smooth sailing. That means that you get to learn how to negotiate and navigate and like find out like where like edges are and create healthy boundaries and everything like that. Like the more you love, sometimes the more challenging it can be because you're learning how to love better. And that's a big part with the heart chakra. The idea that it is not just about opening your heart in a completely reckless way, but it's about balancing your heart, having a balanced heart. That difference between it being too closed and too open. And if it is either of those, that's fine. Just be aware of how it is serving you. And if it's a little closed, invite yourself to open it. If it's too open and you're giving too much to your friends and you're like, yeah, I'll hang out with you and I'll do a massage and I'll help you with this. And then next thing you know, you're like sick because you've given too much of yourself. Be aware of that. It's okay to say no. Loving yourself and saying no is a super, super sexy thing to be able to do. Super, super cool. And people will respect that the more you own that. So find that balanced heart chakra. It's your daily reminder. Because again, people need to be reminded of that. So close your eyes. Hands gently on your chest. Deep, gentle inhale, exhale through the mouth. Big exhale. Deep inhale together. Focus on love, service, and O. Feel the vibration in your heart. Inhale. Again, inhale. Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. All right, moving into our pulmonary chakras. Pulmonary chakras, again, this is about being able to connect with our ultra memory. This is being able to connect with the remembrance and the gratitude for our ancestors, feeling the ancestors on our shoulders, supporting us, feeling the ancestors in the crowd with a sign going, yeah, go team, you're number one. That's what your ancestors sound. Your ancestors, they sound like those cartoon characters. I am a banana. So maybe your ancestor was a banana. I'm not going to judge. Hey, isn't our DNA like 99% the same as a banana? Did I read that somewhere? Was that, or is that just something the internet told me? I forget. I can't remember what's real and what's on the internet these days. That's all blurring together. But anyways, we're going to focus on our pulmonary chakras, and the sound is the letter A, pronounced as in saw, and it sounds like I can't do that the entire time. I'm sorry. You're going to have to pay me extra if you want me to talk like that the entire broadcast. Let's be honest. But I'll just do it one more time. I am a banana. Okay. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. I'm not going to judge. My spoon is too big. I know. Actually, that's a pretty good impersonation. I'm not going to lie. I know. Bringing back the memories. Rejected cartoons. Look it up. Anyways, thanks for having fun. I'm glad we're just here laughing. Meanwhile, like, probably some people are just like, and I'm turning this broadcast off because I don't know what he's talking about. So that's okay. It was worth it. It was worth it. So, okay. Pulmonary chakras. Take a moment here. Close your eyes. Stop laughing. No, it's okay. You can keep laughing. That's fine. You can laugh and think about your connection with your ancestors. Think about the love that they have for you. Have gratitude for the hardships they have gone through. Understand that there are many lessons that they have passed on to you that you are continuing to grow from and heal through. Taking a moment here to kind of shift into that awareness that there are many things that we carry within this lifetime, even shadows and wounds that have been brought into our life through the lineage of our ancestors, and yet we have the ability to heal them in this lifetime. Thousands of years of lineage, of wounds, of trauma have the potential to be healed in this lifetime alone. Very, very powerful idea. Honoring that, honoring us for being able to hold space for that. Deep, gentle inhale on your own. Inhale, exhale. Big exhale. Deep inhale, the sound awe. Gratitude for your ancestors. Feel their love. Inhale. Think forward. Gratitude for your future children and ancestors and lineage. Your future self. Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. So again, with that idea, I just really want to be able to like acknowledge that, like, as you just want to massage your pulmonary chakras here, like with the idea, and thank you again for everybody joining. Yo, what's up, Oliver? Thank you for joining, man. So this idea with the pulmonary chakras, being able to connect with the ancestors, there's a very simple idea that I think if a lot of people were aware of it, it would kind of like help kind of shift the relationship to some of the things that they're going through in this lifetime. But again, it is this idea that a lot of what we're dealing with in this lifetime that we recognize as like personal shadows and like the parts of ourselves that want to like destroy and corrupt and grab and conceive and things like that. A lot of this can literally be things that have been passed on through our DNA. I mean, this is just an idea. Think for yourself, right? So like that's why, like for a lot of us, you know, what we'll find, we'll be like, hey, I'm a good person. Like I have a good heart. I know what I'm here to do. But then like as we've grown up, we're just be like, but there's still a part in me that like feels like it wants to like kill and steal and conquer. And it's like, what is going on there, right? Like I know that's not who I am. But at the same time, when we can kind of understand that that's actually like, that's not who we are, but that's actually the healing that has been passed on to us for us to be able to alchemize in this lifetime. So it's like, hey, you're an awesome person. You're a beautiful, authentic soul. And since you're so awesome, we're going to give you the task of transmutating some of this energy, you know? And this energy is like, again, it's just love in a different form. It's like, that's what happens. Like love and chaos, like this is chaos and this is love. It's like symmetry. Love is like symmetry. And then this is chaos and then this is love. Essentially, it's the same thing. It's still this. This is light. It's the same thing. Love and chaos are the same thing, just like in a different representation. So what we want to do is we want to like observe the chaos inside of us, figure out a way of how to be able to like bring it back into the symmetry of love. So again, so that way, so like as we're passing this on to our next lineage, is it possible for our children and our children's children to actually be able to like be brought in without that shadow, type thing. And not to say the shadow won't exist, because the shadow needs to exist, because we need to learn how to heal, but maybe it won't be quite in the same way. And I feel this is what we're actually doing on a cultural scale. A lot of the things that we notice within like the healing of our culture right now is, again, the healing of lineage that's actually taking place. So the old paradigm of like kind of like shadows ruling is kind of like coming to its end, and the new paradigm of light rising is where we are now. So rather than always having to like focus on the shadow, we can focus on cultivating the balance and the light. And again, the new understanding isn't ignoring the shadow, but it's understanding that the shadow is the light, transmutating it, and being that one person who can see that the ring around the yin yang, that's the light. That is like the truth in itself. And the shadow and the light, it's all love. It's all one and the same. But hey, you already knew that, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. But anyways, I just want to be able to remind you so that you can kind of think about those things. So maybe you can tell someone else about it, right? So, I mean, if that resonates with you, please feel free to just drop like an 1111. And thank you for like healing the shadows of your ancestors. Like seriously, thank you for doing that. The same shadows that we're healing, it's all one thing. It's not like it's separate thing. Like we all got a little piece of the pie type thing. So it's like you heal this, you heal this, you heal this, and together we're healing it together. So thank you for having your piece of the shadow pie. That sounds, the piece of the shadow pie. I don't know. That sounds like a Goosebumps novel or something like that. Piece of the shadow pie. Cool. Okay. Right. You are an alchemist. That is your nature. What are you here to alchemize? Alchemize lead into gold. All right, let's focus on the solar chakra. We got a few more left, and then we'll wrap up the broadcast. Thanks again for everyone for tuning in here. A reminder to be sure to donate $1,000 after this broadcast, because if you do, I'll like show up at your house and I'll play like chess with you and hang out and have some tea. Maybe. Okay. Like for my tarot reading on the weekend, I'm like, it's a pay what you wish scale between $5 and $1 million, and people are just like, that's a pretty good idea, you know, like someone's gonna pay you $1 million eventually. So own our worth, own our value. So okay, anyways, you're not just here to listen to me make bad jokes, but sometimes you are. Okay, anyways, I'm glad we can have fun here. I'm glad we can laugh, but let's just focus here. Seriously, if this like broadcast wasn't me talking half the time, it would probably be like 10 minutes. Let's be honest. I just stretch it out. Okay. All right, thanks Oliver. Okay. Hands on our solar chakra, about the virtue of temperance. How have you been practicing your temperance this week? Again, temperance is another word for willpower. Have you been noticing that you've been controlling your impulses? Have you been really like moderating the things that may like kind of been like shifting your dopamine? So a thing like examples like coffee, food, pornography, ejaculation, substances such as cannabis, binge watching Netflix. How have those played a role within your week, and can you shift that, and can you allow yourself to create the container where you're using those things as rewards to motivate you so that you're focusing on your own stuff? The solar chakra is all about that, sharpening the sword of your will. And again, it's the same sword that kind of like is used to kind of like chop the head off the snake of our vices and stuff like that. So next time you notice that like that snake's coming up and it's like, you should watch pornography all afternoon and not do your work. That's when you like take your sword and you're just like, Shizah! And you cut that snake head off. And it's not the snake that's evil. The snake's the teacher. I know I keep saying that. So thanks to all the snakes out there for teaching us how to swing our swords. Hands on the solar chakra. The vowel is U. The sound is U. Sharpen the sword of your will with the stones of your vices. Every time a vice appears, it is a chance for you to sharpen your sword more. Deep, gentle inhale, exhale on your own. Big exhale. Deep inhale, the sound U. This is also about telepathy, intuition. Deep inhale. Oh yeah, tune that instrument, baby. Deep inhale. One more. Sharpen it. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, moving into the sacral chakra, and then we'll wrap this up after the root chakra. Sacral chakra, all about chastity, cultivation of sexual energy, moving that sexual energy into creative energy to bring more vitality into our body, to be able to help bring more motivation, more momentum. Like seriously, like that's so incredibly obvious how powerful that energy is. It literally has the ability to create life. Like that says something. So we can use that same energy to move it through our body to bring more inspiration, more momentum, more ability to like feed all of our other chakras, our willpower, our heart, our voice, our inspiration, our serenity. The vowel for this is a vowel as if you ate some delicious pad thai. And I'm just taking a moment here because I think, did the YouTube feed crash? Oh no, did the YouTube feed crash? I think the YouTube feed, did it crash? I don't know. Give me 2 seconds here.